Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More, and I'm back with another video. And today we're doing an update on some of the craziness that has happened in my world the last month or so. And what you're looking at right now is a camper that was dropped off on one of our properties, and we're going to do an update on what's going on with the people who dropped off this camper. It ended up being stolen, and also an update on the break-in in my office if anything new has happened there, and talk about a few other things as well. So always appreciate the likes, comments, shares. Keep those coming if you can. The channel has been doing very well lately thanks to all this craziness, so at least there's some positives there. But honestly, it'd be nice if it wasn't quite so crazy. All right, so what is going on with these couple issues we had? So first off, this is at a house flip that we were working on. Actually, it was finished for sale, and one of my contractors had gone there because we were checking on it, and someone had gone in and stolen a thermostat. Very expensive thermostat, like a $700 thermostat. We think they had our lockbox code, or somehow they got in through a window or something. So he was there to replace that thermostat, get that fixed. And while he's there, he saw this camper there, and looked weird. And while he was there checking out the camper, people actually showed up in a truck who were living in the camper or whatever while my contractor was there. And so they showed up. He said, hey, you can't be here. It's trespassing, blah, blah, blah. And they gave him some story like they're supposed to be there, which obviously they weren't. We think they had broken through the gate because it has a gate that locks with the chain on the front of it. That was broken. And we think they just drove right through it. I don't know if they're planning to live here for a while or were just hiding out. We don't know what was going on. So called the sheriff. Sheriff comes. Turns out it was stolen. The camper was stolen. And the lady had stayed there, but her husband, who was in the truck, took off after my contractor there had confronted them, and he wouldn't come back. And so the police detained the lady, tried to figure out what was going on. She claimed they bought it from some person, had a title, never found the title. They did find title to another car, a bunch of checks, a bunch of other stuff in the camper, never found a title. They kept telling the husband to come back, and he wouldn't do it, would not come back. And so for a while there, we thought they might actually let her go. We thought they were going to let her go and she'd get away with this. But eventually they said, okay, there's no title. A lot of stuff isn't adding up. They didn't know how to work the camper very well. It certainly seemed like it was stolen. So they took her to jail, they booked her, and they had talked to my contractor about, hey, are you willing to testify, do something with this if it proceeds? He said, yes, I'd be happy to. And so we were pretty happy. But again, you never know what's going to happen with these situations. We're happy that someone was going to jail for a stolen camper and breaking our gate and different things. Not a big deal to us, but still, we've since found out Colorado is #1 in the country for stolen cars. And the police officer who I've been talking to on my break-in said Colorado's #2 for fentanyl deaths. And then I just looked up and saw Colorado's #5 for homelessness. So it's pretty crazy. Like, the last couple of years have changed dramatically in Colorado. But getting back to this, a couple days ago, my contractor texted me and he's like, hey, look at this. And let me actually get this text for you so I can read it directly and not mess it up. And by the way, I'm not naming names on people on who did these things because the police have told me, like, if they don't know who it is, send pictures. Oh, yeah, that's the rattlesnake we saw over there. And you want to send pictures, that's okay. But when you start posting names, addresses, things like that, then that could mess up their case. They could have some issues where people might not get a fair trial. They say they're being judged innocent, that type of thing. So I don't name names for any of these, even though we actually do know who they are. All right, so my contractor said, so I just got a call from the officer on Highway 4. They found the truck that he had was stolen. They just hadn't been reported yet. The male and female were breaking into mailboxes, and they're getting 21 additional counts of felony forgery. The warrants are going out today for both of them. And winner, if they arrest them, the officer wants me to come and do a lineup and testify in court saying that they were here and to identify them. So that was crazy. Oh, and then he also added, that was in the text when I talked to him later, they also added an evading police charge against him too because he wouldn't come back after the police had told him to come back. They said they had his wife detained. He just dropped his wife off there and left because it was a stolen truck too. He didn't want to get in trouble. Because we could see the arrest records and see the history behind it, at least in our county, we think this was the first time she had been arrested, but he had been arrested probably 15 times in the last 10 years for different things. So crazy stuff. We'll see what happens with that. But on a positive note, it's nice to see some justice being brought and things happening. We just hear story after story of other people who've had cars stolen or things broken into, whatever, and it's nobody's caught, or if they are caught, they're not prosecuted, or they don't go after them. So that was cool to see. So that was that story. Let's talk about the other one. All right, so my office was broken into about a month ago. It seems like it was a year ago with all this stuff that's gone on. It's been crazy. And what happened was we had a lockbox on the outside of the building, not on the door, but kind of close to the door. They took my lockbox, cut it off, took it home, smashed it till they got the keys open, got the keys, came back to my office, broke in, and then ended up stealing quarters, credit cards, checks. We had to reopen 30 checking accounts or something crazy because I have checking accounts for most of my rental properties and flips and different things. The flips are on one, but the rental properties are in different ones. Took my laundry keys, which was really annoying. But I don't know if they got into the laundry machines, which is nice. They did end up breaking into a laundromat, I think, trying to use my laundry keys, but I'm not sure they knew where my laundry machines were, which was good. So here you can see the person who broke in. And if you missed it, I know I had a post. I dressed up as that person for Halloween. So I had a red wig. I got the little tattoo and sunglasses and my beanie cap. So I thought that was pretty funny. But anyway, broke in. They didn't do a ton of damage, but still, broke one drawer, made a mess of things, looked for things. And they actually broke in on Saturday night and Sunday night too, or Sunday afternoon they came back. They tried to come back Sunday night, and one of our neighbors who wanders around at night scared them off. Then she came in my office. That was crazy too. So anyway, we've been doing a lot of work trying to find out who they were, what was going on with them, and had so many different people calling me because they ended up breaking into 3 other real estate offices. Like I said, they broke into a laundromat. They broke into a lender's office. They were shoplifting at Walmart. We think they were shoplifting at Sam's, other places. They were just doing a lot of stuff and stealing a lot of different cars as well, we believe. Now, thanks to kind of Facebook and some other people in our reconnaissance work in the laundromat footage, because the laundromat footage was very clear, we all kind of figured out who they were. Facebook is an amazing tool for that as well, and sent that to the police. And I kind of became like the go-to person for all the different people in town because I guess my police officer was more responsive than maybe some of the others. I'd talk to him, but try not to talk to him too much and bug him too much because I know they're so busy right now. And turns out he talked to me last week and said, hey, we've identified who they are. We're 99% sure we know the people involved in the case. We're building a case right now, and we're just working on making sure it's airtight. They'll be prosecuted, all that. So that was really good to hear. And then we could see on our side the main person, who was actually the lady who drove the truck. We think that was the main person behind all of these, not the person in my office. She was arrested in April for car theft, and then she is arrested again November 4th for theft, arrested again. So she has been arrested multiple times. So we're pretty sure we know who they are. I don't know for sure if she's booked right now or if she's out on bail or what's going on there. But they know who she is. She's been arrested. They know who this other gentleman in the red wig was as well. And I don't know about the third. There's a third guy in the office. He never had anything identifiable about him. Couldn't see his face or anything. He is the one we got DNA and fingerprints from, but that could take a long time to come back. So at some point, maybe that person's identified too. But that person, the other person are identified, and so we'll see what happens with that. But it's cool that at least they know who they are, and they're working on it. And if they aren't in jail right now, they probably will be soon. I know they have been in jail recently with the different things going on. So we'll try and update this if any prosecutions happen or anything like that. And hopefully the police keep updating me too. Like I said, I'm trying not to bother them and bug them. And they'll have a lot of different people like, you got to tell the police this. You got to tell the police this. My buddy got his car stolen here. You got to help me out. I'm like, I'm not a police officer. I can try and help, but overwhelming the police or this one officer with all these requests, I don't think it's going to help anything. So we'll just keep going on there. So that's where we stand right now on the break-ins, on the campers being stolen, the different things there. And we had some other issues as well at the Ocho where we had to evict some people. Some other people are squatting in another unit. So that hopefully will be resolved here soon. We have the eviction date tomorrow for the squatters. The eviction court date, sorry, not the actual eviction. So hopefully that can get scheduled right away. We can get working on that. That's just, that really pisses me off, that situation, where the tenant moved out and her ex moved in, claimed he's supposed to be there. His friends moved in. Her sister-in-law supposedly moved in, who wasn't her sister-in-law, just a friend. Just really weird and messed up. And we had the power out at the Ocho. That's back on now, thankfully. So got that situation taken care of. And then also at the Ocho, we had people who were breaking into garages. And I think I might have mentioned this in one of the videos, but like garage number 2 was broken into, and we were driving by that to see what we could do, see if we could figure out some way to make them more secure. We actually bought like 17 garage door openers from Home Depot on Black Friday special, so that might help if we put those in. But we talked to the guy number 2, and he's like, yeah, about an hour ago, someone tried to break into number 3. I heard him out there. I came out there. He ran off, got in his truck. He's like, I shot his windows out. I'm like, oh, holy cow. So the tenant shot out the guy breaking in's truck windows. I'm like, oh man. I'm like, that's crazy. And like, I don't want to be the one who calls the cops and reports something like that just because I wasn't there, or, you know, for other reasons too. But man, I'm like, holy cow, that's crazy. So hopefully we can work on that. And I talked to the neighbors while we were there, and they're like, yeah, you know, 2 years, I've lived here 5 years. Everything is great till 2 years ago. And then things have just been going downhill. They had to put cameras on their house and all kinds of different, you know, security measures. So it's been interesting. So at least some things are happening. Some crazy stuff's going on in Colorado, I guess. Like I said, number 1 in car theft in the country, number 2 in fentanyl deaths, number 4 or 5 in homelessness. And then I saw some friends in Denver, real estate investors, and they say it's really bad in Denver. Their their car theft has gone up 90% the last 2 years, and their murder rate has gone up 70% the last 2 years in Denver. Just crazy stuff. So hopefully we're getting past a lot of these things. We can move on, and we won't have too many issues to deal with. But we also have to be prepared and know, hey, bad things happen. You deal with them. You move on. Getting mad, giving up isn't going to do any good. And I just posted kind of a meme on Instagram going over all the things we just did and saying, hey, being positive about things is easy when they're going good. It's much harder to be positive when things aren't going so good, and that's when you've really got to work at it and take action to fix things. Just sitting back and complaining isn't going to get anything fixed. All right, there's the update. Like I said, love the likes, love the comments, love the shares. Keep those coming. Well, if we have more updates, any prosecutions, things like that, we'll try and pass those along as well. I want to thank everybody for their support, ideas, help, and support, you know, going through these things. I'm doing good, so I'm all right. Keep chugging along, keep doing real estate, and we'll keep making videos. All right, take care.